Hey everyone, here's a surprising stat. Did you know that around 95% of our decisions are made subconsciously? Yep, while we're all walking around thinking we're rational, our brains are quietly making decisions based on invisible psychological nudges. That's where these tricks come in handy. All right, let's get real. We all wish we could influence people just a little more, right? Whether you're trying to convince your partner to pick your favorite restaurant, again, get your boss to actually notice your work, or simply sway a friend to agree with you on anything, you know that being influential can make life easier. But what if I told you that there are actual psychological tricks, completely backed by science, that can make you more persuasive without feeling like you've sold your soul? The truth is, understanding how the human mind works gives you the power to subtly influence decisions, all while flying under the radar. Intrigued? Let's dive into 8 psychological tricks you can use in real life. And no, you don't need a psychology degree, just a bit of curiosity and some good timing. The challenge of persuasion. Before we get to the good stuff, let's address the elephant in the room. Influencing people can really feel frustrating. Have you ever tried to convince someone to change their opinion, and instead of budging, they just dig in their heels harder? Yeah, it's exhausting. You want them to see things your way, but instead it turns into a battle of wills. The truth is, being persuasive isn't about overpowering someone's mind. It's about gently guiding it. That's where these psychological hacks come into play. Trick number 1, the power of reciprocity. Ever notice how when someone does you a favor, you feel this weird obligation to return it? This is the magic of reciprocity. You do something small for someone, buy them a coffee, give a genuine compliment, and suddenly they're more likely to help you out later. It's hardwired into our brains to not want to feel in debt. Use this to your advantage by being the first to offer value, and you'll see how quickly others will reciprocate. Psychological trick number 2, the foot in the door technique. This one is sneaky but effective. Start with a small request to get someone to agree to something bigger. Let's say you want your friend to help you move. Start by asking them if they can swing by to help pack a few boxes. Once they're in, it's much easier to escalate that small favor into helping with the whole move. It works because once people commit to something small, they're psychologically primed to stay consistent with that commitment. Trick number 3, the power of because. Here's a trick that'll blow your mind with its simplicity. Always give a reason. Studies have shown that when people are presented with a request along with a reason, even if that reason is weak, they're significantly more likely to comply. It's a psychological phenomenon known as the because effect, and it's rooted in our innate desire to understand and rationalize our decisions. For example, instead of just asking, "Can I cut in line?" try saying, "Can I cut in line because I'm in a rush?" Just the act of adding because makes the request feel more legitimate and justified, even if the reason isn't particularly strong. Think about it. When you hear someone provide a reason, your brain instantly goes into problem-solving mode, searching for an acceptable rationale. It's like putting a mental check mark next to their request. You're not just facing a random request, you're given a context that makes you feel more inclined to say yes. This can be particularly effective in everyday situations. Whether you're asking a coworker for a favor or even trying to get your kids to clean up their toys. Simply adding because creates a frame that encourages compliance, triggering a sense of obligation. Plus, it's a subtle yet powerful way to enhance your persuasive communication. So the next time you find yourself needing a favor or trying to influence someone's decision, remember, a simple because can make all the difference in the world. Psychological trick number 4, the anchoring effect. Want to nudge someone towards a decision? Set an anchor. If you're negotiating, throw out a high number first. It sets the mental anchor and makes any lower number seem more reasonable by comparison. Let's say you're selling your old bike. Start with a price that's slightly higher than what you expect, and you'll often get closer to your real target price. People tend to fixate on the first piece of information they hear, and it shapes their perception. Trick number 5, social proof. Ever been in a situation where you're unsure what to do, so you look around to see what everyone else is doing? That's social proof in action. People are more likely to follow your lead if they believe others are doing it too. Want to persuade someone to try a new restaurant? Mention how it's always packed or that it has rave reviews online. The more it seems like everyone is doing something, the more likely they are to follow suit. Psychological trick number 6, the halo effect. The halo effect is when we assume that if someone is good at one thing, they must be good at other things too. It's why we often think someone who's attractive is also smart or kind. Thanks, brain. You can use this in conversations by presenting your strengths early on. Once someone views you in a positive light, that good impression carries over into other areas, making them more likely to agree with you or support your ideas. Trick number 7, the Zeigarnik effect. People tend to remember unfinished tasks more vividly than completed ones, a phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect. It's the reason why an open tab in your browser nags at you long after you've forgotten why you opened it in the first place. This psychological quirk kicks in when something is left unresolved, creating mental clutter that your brain feels compelled to clean up. You can harness this effect to your advantage in conversations or negotiations. Let's say you're in a meeting discussing a project. Rather than wrapping up everything neatly, leave part of the conversation unfinished. For example, bring up an important point, but stop just short of offering a solution or conclusion. This leaves the other person mentally fixated on that dangling thread, making them more likely to come back to you later for closure. It keeps you and your idea top of mind. And here's the kicker. The more important or relevant the unfinished task, the stronger the psychological pull. It's like creating a mental itch that they need to scratch, which can push them to agree to your suggestions or follow up on the project just to resolve that lingering sense of incompletion. It's subtle, but incredibly powerful for keeping people engaged and making sure your priorities don't slip through the cracks. Psychological trick number 8. Now for the big one. Drum roll, please. Scarcity. We want what we can't have, or what we think is running out. It's why limited time offers and only a few left messages work so well. If people believe something is in short supply, they're far more likely to act on it quickly. You can apply this by highlighting what's rare or exclusive about what you're offering, whether it's your time, a product, or even just information. Want to make someone more interested in your idea? Make it seem like an opportunity that doesn't come around often. So, to recap, we've covered 8 powerful psychological tricks that you could start using today to influence others. From using reciprocity and social proof to the all-powerful tool of scarcity. These tricks are subtle but wildly effective. The next time you need to sway someone's mind, think about how you can leverage these principles. Remember, influence isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding how our minds work and using that to guide others toward better decisions. Now that you're equipped with these psychological superpowers, which one are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos on how to elevate your influence and boost your personal development. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.